China is going to be the biggest winner in terms of better diplomatic ties between Pakistan and Afghanistan. We saw that, be it in the cyberspace, we gave India a very tough time. Be it in terms of the information warfare, destabilize that whole Indian hegemonic philosophy, the Israeli blueprint that they were trying to replicate with us. We have proven to the rest of the world about our military might, but now I think there is time to talk about technology, to talk about economic abilities. Washington and Islamabad, I think we need to negotiate or renegotiate the people to people ties and diplomatic connections that we had. China is doing a much better job in terms of increasing the number of scholarships, in terms of technology transfer with the militaries as well. So we've seen India absolutely, you know, weaponize social media as well. Even little kids in Pakistan in villages who make TikToks have better cognizance to recognize what deepfake is now. China is going to be the biggest winner in terms of better diplomatic ties between Pakistan and Afghanistan. Obviously, for us, it is the obvious outcome, which is going to be that we've seen a decline in the terrorist attacks that were happening from the Afghanistan soil. We also can afford only this one hostile enemy that we saw in the past being in the form of India. And Pakistan is a peace-loving, responsible nuclear state. And that is how we would like to present our image in the rest of the world as well. So I think Pakistan did a great job in terms of, wanting to re-establish those diplomatic ties with Pakistan in terms of between Pakistan and Afghanistan. So I think that it is a Muslim country. We are supposed to enjoy those brotherhood ties. Pakistan has been one of the countries that has suffered the most because of not because of the hostility at our western borders. So I think that this is a welcome step. I think we've shown in the past as well that we are genuinely dedicated to the cause of Kabul as well. And I think this is a positive step. However, talking about India at this point in time, I think that we have exposed to the rest of the world that it is not just the kinetic warfare that India was involved in, but also the fact that whether it was Article 2.3 of the UN, whether it was Article 51 where Pakistan just exercised its right to defend itself responsibly by just attacking military installations. I think that the rest of the world, Pakistan needs to present that case of water terrorism, abrogation of the Indus Water Treaty, of the war crimes committed against humanity by the Modi government in Kashmir, and then obviously the attack on the civilian-rich populations, which is again goes against all articles and charters of the UN. I will also bring to your attention the Hague Convention, and obviously, I think now Pakistan needs to chant for an arbitration council by an independent body like the World Bank. We also need to make sure that the world knows, even in terms of, what the butcher of Gujarat in this situation, Modi has been doing, spreading a false narrative, being the war criminal that he is, also be taken to ICJ, because I think that Pakistan, being a responsible nuclear state, at the forefront of all Islamic countries, being having that nuclear might, I think it needs to create the right kind of deterrence, because it is very irresponsible and a threat to regional and international peace to have a war criminal like Modi at the head of in India, for example. So I think here what we also need to look at is the fact that non-kinetically Pakistan has proven itself in the recent aftermath of the Pahalgam incident. We saw that, be it in the cyberspace, we gave India a very tough time, be it in terms of the information warfare. Pakistan, whether it was the politicians, whether it was the journalists, the civil society, the academics, the Pakistani diaspora that exists all over the world, writing letters to the UN, I think that we were extremely responsible. We did spread the message of peace. I think that now, more than ever, I think Pakistan is going to be at the forefront of establishing peace, not within the region, but also, just really, I think we uh, destabilize that whole Indian hegemonic philosophy, the Israeli blueprint that they were trying to replicate with us, not just in terms of the information warfare, but in terms of sending kamikaze drones, creating a false narrative against Islamic terrorism. Because now the world has seen that the actual threat to peace all over the world is this Hindutva philosophy, which has caused destabilization efforts all the way from Canada to Sri Lanka to Bangladesh to Nepal. Um, so I think now Pakistan needs to do it not just for our own cause, but for the region. We are a peace-loving country. We want to deal with trade and build better diplomatic ties. So I think it is an instrumental move that Pakistan has now become. Has gotten the status in the UN Security Council that it has now, which India does not enjoy at the moment. And I think these 2 years are going to be extremely crucial, not just in terms of the Pakistan US relations, but also the Pakistan China relations and Pakistan Russia relations and the rest of the world as well. I think that in terms of the minerals and Bitcoin, etc., this is going to be a long term game, especially in terms of minerals. However, I think that we can see some short term gains, obviously, in terms of the crypto and the whole Web3 AI space, because I feel like Pakistan, as it is, has been one of the largest exporters of IT services throughout the world, and US is one of the biggest importers of that kind of expertise and technology transfer from Pakistan. So I think that it works out in our favor. I think that it's not just in terms of the security, meaning border security and the war against terrorism, but I think this is also a new era. These are exciting times where Pakistan not only has to up our security game, we have proven to the rest of the world about our military might, but now I think there is time to talk about technology, to talk about our economic abilities. I think that the recent packages with IMF, with the Asian Development Bank, with World Bank coming and showing more and more interest in Pakistan, I think investing in Web 3.0 or crypto or these kind of technologies, which are the emerging technologies, are going to play the role of confidence building measures between both the US and Pakistan relations at this point in time. But I also feel like when we are talking about emerging technologies and more trade agreements between Pakistan in terms of exchange of services, such as investing in the space of crypto technology, Web 3.0, AI based initiatives, I think President Trump and both between Washington and Islamabad, I think we need to negotiate or renegotiate the people to people ties and diplomatic connections that we had, the soft diplomatic measures, because as we know that the Pak US alumni network is probably one of the biggest alumni networks in the world, and we've seen that with this current regime, President Trump coming in, we've seen massive cuts in the aid that was coming to Pakistan in terms of improving the soft diplomatic ties. And I think that is going to be instrumental towards creating a positive and lasting change, even in terms of technology transfer, because we already see that. China is doing a much better job in terms of increasing the number of scholarships, in terms of technology transfer with the militaries as well, in terms of exchanging of ideas. So I think if the US wants to still stay very relevant in the case of Pakistan and, talking about the trade of technology of the future, then I think we need to really work on people to people ties as well. So, unfortunately, we've seen India wreak havoc by deploying absolutely horrendous means of creating fear, instigating fear, and false information within the masses by using social media. Now, social media is a tool which can either be used to control the masses or create positivity and peace. So, we've seen India absolutely weaponize social media as well, because we saw in the recent aftermath of the Pahalgam attack as well, Even Indian YouTubers, which have following with millions, like Dhruv Rathi, was trying to give false information, was trying to use AI-based images, was trying to pick up on cases that had been closed. For example, even the recent interviews that we saw with the other YouTubers like Beer Biceps and all, bringing up on cases like Osama bin Laden, which is history. I think they are trying to manipulate the rest of the world because there is no real agenda there. There are no real facts there. I think they're also now trying to copy paste our style of how we conduct media briefings as well. Because if you saw that first press conference that they conducted with Colonel Sophia Qureshi and the other lady officer, the next briefing that they gave was just a copy paste scenario of how they managed to replicate our DGISPR's briefing. Even the placement of the questions, even the way they were sitting, that was all replicated. So I think we're teaching them well. But I think there needs to be, I think they owe it to their own public to one, stop this social media ban, and also let the liberal voices from India come forward and give truth to their people. India claims to be a democracy. So I think there should be freedom of speech, and there should be this crackdown against these false agendas that are going on social media. I think that we were quite effective because it wasn't just from the civilian standpoint, but I think it was very responsible for the DGISPR to not just brief on the military and kinetic measures, but also expose how India was using, for example, AI manipulated images of drones that were shot down. And I think that it was actually quite comical how they did not do a good job there at all. There's much better technology that is there, literally showing pieces of drones on fresh cut wheat grass. It was very obvious. I think even little kids in Pakistan in villages who make TikToks have better cognizance to recognize what deepfake is now. So I think that Pakistan will no longer be fooled. The world will no longer be fooled. I think the fact that Pakistan, the government, the military, there was not a single account that was blocked by any YouTuber, by any influencer. So I think just that shows a lot of confidence that we were actually not creating a false narrative, but just presenting the facts to the rest of the world. And I think there was a lot of responsible citizen journalism that was brought forward, because even if we look at the drones that were shot down in Lahore, we saw a lot of the civilian populations come and share real life footage from there about the Indian drones that were shot down. So I think that that is something that we are doing responsibly. I think we also need to invest and train more resources within Pakistan. I think we need to invest in information warfare.